Hello and welcome to this week's video summary of the news, brought to you by Estate Agent Today and Letting Agent Today. The return to business as usual for many agents after the summer has come with a bang thanks to several big stories this week. Firstly, the National Trading Standards Estate Agency team has issued new guidelines to assist estate agents conform with the raft of consumer laws that now govern fees, property particulars and agents' information to the public. There's been a generally warm reception to the new guidelines from across the industry, but there have been concerns raised by the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors. Rick says the guidelines remain ambiguous over one of the biggest concerns for agents, the information they should reveal to prospective buyers about apparent defects in a property. The law says the agent must reveal significant and material information which may persuade the buyer to buy or not buy a property under consideration. But Rick says it remains unclear precisely what constitutes significant and material information. The guidelines are out to consultation. If you want to read them or email comments to Trading Standards, the links are on the appropriate stories on the Estate Agent Today website. Now, it almost goes without saying there was more controversy surrounding the rivalry between Rightmove, Zoopla and On the Market. On the Market announced that it would provide the search facility on the website of the traditional rural magazine Country Life. But then this was promptly the subject of a complaint to Country Life's publisher, Time Inc., by the independent network of estate agents, which said the link-up would restrict the right to publicise properties of those estate agents that were not members of On the Market. A day later, the high-end London estate agency Chesterton's announced that it was to drop using the Zoopla portal because its clients said it absolutely had to be on Rightmove. This comes only 8 months after Chesterton's had announced it was dropping Rightmove because it was the obvious choice to be on Zoopla. There was plenty of market news this week, with two indices saying much the same thing. The sales market is good but softening. Land Registry data for July showed annual house price inflation across England and Wales to be rising by 4.6%, but this is lower than the growth recorded earlier this year. Meanwhile, Nationwide reports that house prices across the UK as a whole are rising by 3.2%, and that's the weakest for 2 years. But analysts say there's no need for concern. The market is stabilising after some unsustainable increases over the previous 12 months. In other estate agency news this week, a director of the high-end estate agents Humberts has resigned after being found guilty of stealing £2,500 from a charity bank account. The controversial online agency eMove started a crowdfunding appeal for £1 million and within a few days has raised roughly 2/3 of that amount. And two Labour candidates, one standing for deputy leader and one for London mayor, have called for bonds to be issued so that investors could buy them and provide funds for first-time buyer houses. Now, let's look at what's happening in the lettings sector. Well, the Insolvency Service wound up two letting agencies. They're called Morgan Fox Lettings Limited and Morgan Fox Property Limited because of what the service calls serious failings which have left landlord clients out of pocket. The failings include not handling tenants' deposits in line with legal requirements. And a controversial letting agency in Bristol, CJ Hole, has had one of its offices badly vandalised. This was the office that earlier this year sent a letter to its landlord clients urging them to consider raising rents. At the time, at least one other letting agent working for CJ Hole criticised the letter. A petition and a protest march were staged against the letter some months ago, but it's not known if the vandalism is connected with the controversy. And finally, back to sales, or more particularly the sales details of a flat for sale in Edinburgh. It proved a wee bit embarrassing for estate agency Murray & Curry when social media and local newspapers both spotted that one of the photographs used to show the view from the flat included a passerby who, shall we say, was taken short. The dodgy photograph was posted on the agency's website and on Rightmove, but then was promptly removed when news of the problem leaked out. That's it for another week. If you want to keep up to date with what's happening in our industry, check in every day to read the news from Estate Agent Today and Letting Agent Today. We carry breaking news every day, and you can also subscribe to our email newsletter with full details on both websites. Thanks very much for watching. See you next time.